Here we fucking go! Welcome back to CollaboRadio. It's been too long, but we're glad to be back with you guys. We've got a very special episode today. We've got Pat, also known as P.SUS. We've got Steve, also known as ThinkFishTank. And special guest, we have Jetsee, also known as Jetsee. Also formerly known as Inexpensive Jew.
Yeah, that's right. That's the name I'm trying to escape.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Didn't mean to drag you back through that.
That's all good.
But yeah,
if that's what you know me as, that's fine too.
Yeah. But yeah, we were talking a little bit before we started rolling. I was just making sure that I had your artist name right, and from there, I made several connections. One, just how dope your music is. And then two, I was like, oh shit, I see Finn Wolfhard is following him. And so I brought that up. And then you had...
I mean, it's a weird story. It's funny, though. It's more or less common for you guys because as anyone who's ever made an internet friend, we all know that it usually starts with someone admiring maybe something you make creatively or something. So for me personally, a lot of my friends I made through, I like your music. Really? I like yours. Cool. Let's talk.
Nice.
That seemed to have happened, but with an actor from the show Stranger Things. We were, me and my cousin, we were watching Stranger Things when it first came out. It was like the very first week. So he always finds whatever the hell is new on Netflix, sci-fi section, hits play, even if it's total trash. So we were watching. I'm like, this is a really cool show. I want to tell people to watch this. So I think it was like first week show came out. I wrote, hey, check out the show Stranger Things. It's a really good show. And I got a tweet from Finn saying like, hey, me and my brother love watching your stuff. Thanks for supporting the show. And I was like, what? And I was like, the kid from the TV likes me on YouTube. Like, it was fucking surreal. I was like, okay, that's really neat.
He was a video game Fun Time fan then.
Yeah, he was a video game. Him and his brother were a video game Fun Time fan, which is don't know. I made a dumb show called Video Game Fun Time with my friend Joe.
Wow. It's the dumbest.
It is really the
best way. I like that about it though.
The thing about like his generation is like people on YouTube are just as important as people on TV. You know, it's like weird to think about that way.
No, it's true, man. It's the lines are blurring, especially because Netflix is an internet-based service. So technically, you don't even need to be on network TV to have success.
Right.
But it was a surreal thing to say the least, and honestly, like it was a funny experience because I live in LA now, and obviously they make their way through there. Him and I should specify, he has an older brother as well, Nick, who is we're closer in age. We talk more. But they hung out. They came to LA and we all got food and saw a movie, and since then we still chat.
Small
That's pretty dope,
world.
Dude. That's
crazy.
Story.
It was really funny, especially because my YouTube channel, I don't even have 5,000 subscribers, so I don't know how the hell they fucking found that.
Right.
Like it's a very, very niche thing. Like, they had to have known, that exists. So it's like, whoa, you were one of the fans. That's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. It's a thing.
Yeah. Speaking
of like brushes with, well, that's definitely more than a brush with a famous person, but randomly today I like was a little starstruck because I noticed that Toki Monsta looked at my Instagram story. If you know who Toki Monsta is.
I don't personally, but I would love to hear.
She's like a beat maker, LA person that like part of the like Flying Lotus, Brain Feeder kind of crowd.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's
I was
awesome.
like, what? I didn't post about it because I didn't want to be like obnoxious about it, but I figured I'd mention it.
That's sick, dude. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like those types should definitely be listening to P.SUS. I mean, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like you should be known in those kinds of circles because you're doing cool stuff that is a little different, but in the same world.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. Sometimes it's always like it's good to have like fans or listeners or people that pay attention to you or whatever, like no matter who they are. But I don't know. There's something special when it's like someone that I look up to a little bit. So, or like people whose art I really appreciate back. So that just feels extra good. So yeah. Sorry, did I derail?
No, you're good.
No, that's
You're
perfect.
good.
That's perfect. That's what this show's about.
I would even say, you know, it's admirable to even have another artist in the same realm of music that you make, like the music you make. You're like, oh crap, like, you know, I must be doing something right, you know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It must be like the highest form of flattery, because it's not just anybody. It's like someone you look up to, liking your own stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like sometimes, I don't know, maybe this is just a feeling that I have, being kind of a loner in some ways. But I feel like a lot of artists just are so focused on their own stuff that they don't always like shout out other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you like. So the fact that she would even do that means even more.
Well, I just mean in general, beyond like, I mean, it's one thing to look at an Instagram story, but you know, I just feel like just in general, I think there's like a lot of silent fans out there that don't like send you their love, even though they might be feeling that way. And especially, I don't know, maybe it's just a dumb theory that I have.
No,
It's
No,
absolutely
I get
true.
what you mean, yeah.
You're making connections in your head, and it's actually funny. I did the exact same thing when it comes to the music I listen to. I have to imagine like there almost is a personality trait that a lot of similar artists that are quiet, that don't release I don't know, the type of music that we like to listen to, that's sort of chill beats and stuff. I don't know. There's one artist I really like, Bibio. He's one of my favorite musicians, period.
Dude,
and
yeah, I love that guy.
I have listened to his music for years, since I was in high school, and he refuses to do live shows because he's that much of a loner. He said it's not on his repertoire of things he ever wants to do. And he mentioned, like, for the first time, I think he wrote it on a blog post this year, like, he finally answered that age-old question, why don't you tour? And he was basically saying, like, the feeling of making music at home is so different than the feeling of performing that music when you're in front of people. You have to have a different persona for that, and I completely agree with it. So I don't know. I think there's a theory there. There's a lot of loner musicians that could share that exact same thread.
Yeah, I think he also said something about like he thinks so much of his sound is used with like processing, like playing guitar through like a tape machine, and he like couldn't really do that live. So that's like one reason why he doesn't. I kind of remember him saying that too. But yeah, he's one of my biggest inspirations. Like,
totally. That's so funny. See, look right there. Like, you know, we haven't even talked about this artist yet. We both followed him for such a long time.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So
it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Steve, you've been.
I was gonna say we should probably talk about, now we're talking about performing live. We should.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. I've been doing some live streams. I originally wanted to just do a DJ set for you guys, pretty much. I was just gonna put together something for you guys to watch. Because we're literally just, most of us are in quarantine, isolating. Most of us don't have jobs that we're going to daily. So I was like, it would just be fun to put some beats together. And then, of course, as all things do, as I was working on my set, I was like, it'd be really cool is like if I could, add some videos in here too, because I feel like videos are an important part of what we do a lot of times. And so then I went on this whole separate journey of figuring out how to control videos and how to do stuff with videos, transitions with videos, add and remove stuff from videos, all this stuff. And kind of ended up on this journey where I put together a live stream that was, me mixing, about an hour, 90 minutes almost of video related stuff. And I think it went pretty good. Did any of you guys catch it? I think Jack did for sure.
Yeah, I caught some of the first stream. It looked sweet.
Thanks, man.
I caught the first one, not the second one.
I don't know the number of what stream I got, but it was cool. I was very like, whoa, how is he doing all this? Especially the beat chopping and the tempo matching. You really did a good job doing that on the fly.
Thanks, man. And to be honest, I didn't rehearse any of it. It was all improvised, which is, I'm not sure if that's the right approach or not, but it was fun to not know what was coming next. Other than like, I knew the two songs I was starting with, and the song I was ending with, but everything else was improvised along the way.
Nice.
Which is, I think if I was going to do a ThinkFishTank set, it would be rehearsed and it would be really clean and all the transitions would be nice and all that stuff. But I think in this scenario, it was really fun to just do it on the fly.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I mean, my setup was, I have my projector and I'm just stuck at home. So I'm like, what can I do with this projector? So I was like, I'll just blast the video behind me. It'll look kind of cool. And then I'm like, well, it's not in HD because my projector is technically in HD, but it's like 720p, it's nothing crazy. And it's being shot with my camera. So I was like, well, we need HD video as well. So then I figured out a way to patch in the video from the software I'm using. So we had that. And then I was like, well, we could get a second camera in here too to also watch what my hands are doing. So by the end of it, I had this crazy rig where I had 2 cameras set up. One was I couldn't buy any cameras or anything, obviously, because everything's sold out on Amazon as far as webcams and stuff that are simple to plug into a computer. And so I was like, what can I rig up? So I was like, I'll find an app on my Android that I can stream the video from my phone to my computer. So I had one camera, one of my phones shooting something, a webcam shooting the other stuff, everything running through Virtual DJ is what I ended up using. And exporting into OBS, which is like this software that lets you stream to other platforms from. And it was just like this really bizarre setup because I was streaming from my phone to my computer. Then my computer was streaming to my laptop so I could see it where I was in my workstation. It was just really elaborate. And the first set went amazingly well. Nothing went wrong, which was like, I was like, oh, this is easy. I can do this again. And then so smash cut to the second set, and literally everything that could go wrong went wrong. I lost internet connection halfway through. My phone stopped streaming. My projector overheated. My laptop stopped working. It was really
no.
But I salvaged it. What you see on YouTube now, I kind of like cut it up and edited it so it looks like one nice continuous stream. But yeah, that was really fun, and it gave me something to focus on during these weird times. Because again, I'm not working right now, and it's good to do some creative stuff and all that. But so yeah, that was my experience doing the live streams, and we'll talk a little bit later because I don't want to keep rambling, but I'm going to announce some upcoming stuff too. But anyway, let's go to a different subject. We'll come back to that. I don't want to ramble forever.
I just want to piggyback on that just a little bit. After watching your first stream, I've literally done a live set once in my life, and it made me want to like explore that again. And I've been working on an outline of something because
that's awesome.
So
I'm really happy to hear that.
Thank you for
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Like, obviously, the only reason I ever want to do this stuff is seeing other people do it. Obviously, seeing Pogo do it, when I was first getting into electronic, underground, weird, plunderphonic stuff.
Right.
I was like, as a performer, primarily, I was like, oh, that's sick. That's what I really want to do. And I never really got around to making a set or trying to sell it or trying to, get to venues and stuff. And I think this is a really good step for me to, here's how the software works, here's how, et cetera, et cetera. It can get way more elaborate from here. What I was doing in the set was, relatively straightforward. But I think for a ThinkFishTank set, I could absolutely do it in a very similar way and have a really cool product with video and sound and music and all that stuff.
Sweet.
So I'm happy to hear you're inspired, man, because that's awesome. Very happy to hear that. Because you've got some cool stuff you could do too.
Thanks. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I miss when I used to live with Dynamo and he had a projector.
Oh,
we
dude.
did some pretty cool streams back in the day.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember those too.
When is the easy listening coming back, bro?
Dude,
I've been trying, but it's Dynamo. He's in Japan teaching Japanese kids English, so I don't know if he has much time for music.
All right. That's fair.
I've hit him up a couple times, like, dude, you should sample, like, dude, chop this up. Come on now. But, you can't force people to make art.
No.
Well, unless you have a gun.
Well,
you can force people to do anything. But
yeah, the dark humor is coming out.
Didn't take long.
Real dark humor hours.
Dude, I feel your pain about the like using your phone as a webcam because I took a totally different approach than you because I have an iPhone, but it was like I stream too. Everyone's streaming because what else are you gonna do? But
Really, yeah.
I feel your pain. I had to get this app that like recorded that made my whole phone screen the camera view, and then the phone was being screen captured to QuickTime, and then OBS was screen capturing QuickTime.
Wow.
That's how I had to do it for free, or like that's what I had to do to like use it and not buy like a $20 app that basically does the same thing.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love hearing how people just jerry rig whatever software thing they have laying around and they get it to work. I love that.
God.
Yeah. It was a fun, like it was really frustrating at times, but it's fun to have something to problem solve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, very frustrating. And I stayed up very late on several nights trying to make it work. But yeah, it is fun to have this problem and be like, here's what I have in my house and I can't buy other things. I can't go out.
Yep.
So we're going to make this work.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's awesome.
Now I'm nervous about what's ahead for me as I try to figure out how that's going to work, but we'll see.
Yeah, I want to know more about what I mean, we can talk about this off recording, obviously, if you want to, but if you want to talk about it here, I'd like to know kind of which direction you're going with the set. Because, what I did was, like a glorified DJ set. Obviously, I could break down and add on elements and, transitions and all that. But, I wasn't playing like the songs individually, section by section. But, I think Pat would do that differently. And I'd like to know like what your approach is.
I mean, right now, I basically just kind of compiled a set list of plunderphonic tracks that I really, really enjoyed back in the day when I was kind of first really getting into this stuff, and just kind of stringing those together and then seeing where I can add and mash up different elements of different things together.
Cool.
Yeah, it's still very much a work in progress and exploring exactly what feel I want to go for with it. But yeah, so aside from all the live streaming business, we've been kind of slowly chipping away at this sort of hip hop album for the past however long. Because I swear, we swear, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, for real this time. Yeah, for real this time. We've been teasing it for genuinely a
year and a half. Fuck.
Really? Oh.
I think so, man.
Yeah.
Because we kind of had the idea. We kind of had the idea, I think, even going into Up Late, which was our last mixtape. And it was going to be our next thing. And then, just life took over. And it didn't happen. So honestly, like a peek inside how it works for us is we all have real lives and we all have jobs and relationships. And do any of us have children? No, but we have pets. Okay. We have busy lives. And unless we literally make a deadline for ourselves, it never happens. Like we'll never put out stuff. So honestly, in order for something to happen, we have to be like, all right, here's a literal date and we are going to release something on this day. And then it always works out for us. But otherwise, these projects just float and float and float.
Yeah.
Well, I think it also kind of like takes one person to sort of like take the flag and be like, come on, guys, get inspired. Like, here's my stuff. Here's the album cover. Here's the album name. Here's the, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
I have to agree, and I actually want to even expand upon that because as a creative that just makes beats, used to have a lot more time to do so. Ever since starting this job that I do creative things for, I've had way less of a desire to, like, when work is over, to still keep going and make my own stuff. But the moment, like, for example, like working for a place doing video, the moment they say, this is a task, you have to do this, you're getting paid to do this, even if you get rid of the money aspect of it, there's a clear cut thing you have to do. You have to make this video with this clip for this person. When you make music, there's never like a set goal, at least not for me, a set goal in mind before I start on something, unless it's a remix, and in which case I want to remix a specific property, sure. But for the most part, it will take someone like Steve hitting me up going, hey, you want to make a chill beat for this compilation? I go, sure. And then that gives me an initiative. I go, okay, now I know what I have to do. I have to make a chill beat for Steve. Before then, like I would have zero idea or even, inspiration sometimes just because work is so busy. You know, when you're in the real world all the time, it's not depressing, but it's like not creatively charging anymore. I felt like I made more stuff when I was in high school.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've heard stories. I've heard stories about the real world.
Oh,
So
you're like, I've avoided it for so long.
Dude,
Yeah,
so much respect for Pat over here. He's, just doing this stuff for a living. That's
I don't know
crazy, man.
if respect is necessary.
You're taking one for the
But
team,
thanks.
though.
Yeah. But yeah, the album is coming. I think as of like right before we started rolling, we decided on a name.
We did.
We're calling it Aperture.
That's the official title.
And yeah, it's
We promise not to change it.
yes.
Yeah, it'll feel right I think that's how titles go a lot of times. For me, it's just like, well, that sucks, and then like a year later, it's like, hey, that's actually I kind of like that. It fits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It grows on you, even as the person who thought of it. I don't know. At least that's my experience.
Sometimes
Yeah,
that's kind of like that. That's like with lots of different art. Like I know sometimes I'll go through old like works in progress and I'll run across one and I'll be like, huh, I don't hate that. Weird.
I was just doing that yesterday. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, me too, man. Yeah. I'm like, oh, why did I never finish this?
I have such a huge like reserve of like unreleased gems of like me and Josh and Dusty and like I'm opening my iTunes right now just to like see like actually like give you like a duration of how long it would take to listen to all of like the random unreleased stuff. But I go back through that and sometimes I find none of it's like tagged or anything. Sometimes I find my own stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should post that like like a throwback kind of thing. But like, wait, let me. I just scroll down to like where there's no more artist name. Wait a second. Well, I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. In the meantime, we'll believe that it's just like a really long fucking time that you'd be sitting there.
Yeah, I don't actually do that, by the way. I don't actually sit there and listen to it consecutively.
Right. I don't think anybody does.
I want to say while you're finding that, I often find that the unreleased songs, maybe it's just the whole, oh, it's desirable because I know it'll never come out, but there is something always like more appealing to me when I hear the unreleased song. I'm like, oh shit, this is the best song they made. Why didn't they finish? Like it happened a few times. I think Flamingo Sis on Twitter, he fucking posted an unreleased track and he just tweeted unreleased track and that was it. And I was like, this is the best thing he's ever made and I'll never get to hear it.
That's why I'm so afraid of doing that. I don't want to like let people down like that. But anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It's 2.8 days.
What?
Wait, you like worth of content, like duration?
What?
Yeah. Like
what?
Well, some of it's like there's a few like DJ mixes that add like a few hours that are like I'm just selecting all the stuff that doesn't have like an artist and album track that's on my iTunes and like
wow,
a good chunk of it. Okay, there's some stuff here that's like 2 hours long. Basically, it's like
Jesus, man, holy crap!
It's like 10 years of work in progresses.
Wow.
I have a playlist called Geesh Work in Progresses that doesn't even have everything in it, and it's 2 hours 9 minutes.
Nice.
So anyway,
damn.
It's ungodly.
If I was like half as productive at that still would be a lot. Like it's insane.
Well, it's like it's me and all the people that have sent me their stuff. Is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The combined effort of just the three of you guys, just you and
I mean, mostly
and Josh.
Yeah, like
damn,
being Geesh remix. Like, yeah, there's some hilarious Bouncy
Right.
Shit, Brainstorm 2.
Yeah.
There's some hilarious names like Crazy Shit I'm Working On. Funk That Shite.
Nice.
I just searched shit. Leave shit.
Wow.
Messing with reverb and other shit. More shit. Shitty Jig 3. Shitty RCT riff.
Shitty jig.
Team Fortress in parentheses shit.
Oh, wow. Who is that?
I don't know. Wait, let me listen.
That must be Dusty. I found an old TF2
Oh, this
remix
sounds
I
like
did.
Steve.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably me, man.
Yeah.
See, you're in there too.
Dude, you got some unreleased ThinkFishTank in there?
Yeah,
dude?
that's what I'm saying. I've got all kinds of random stuff.
That's valuable stuff.
I don't delete any of this.
I was gonna say, and I was just having this conversation with Jeesh the other week, but I was saying like there was a time before we were friends that I just followed your SoundCloud, and you had this one track called Jeesh 2011, and it was just a preview of like, here's what's to come in the year 2011, and none of the songs in that have ever been released.
Yeah.
I know exactly
just
what you're
like-
talking about. Yeah. Holy shit.
And I have the SoundCloud rip of that, so I remembered
so
sending.
funny.
Like I have the 2011 Jeesh MP3 file, and I had it in my media fire. That's how dated we're going.
Nice.
It's like it's ironic to think that now MP3s are considered rare, and that I don't even think he has that shit anymore. And I was just like, do you know if you have any of these songs? And he's just like, no. like I do not. And I'm like, oh man, like some of those were great, but yeah,
I probably have some of. Well, the thing is, they're probably all 10 seconds long, and there's nothing more to it.
Yeah.
The funniest thing that Jeesh ever sent to me, I'm not trying to clown on him too much or anything. He's laughed. There's this. He sent me this one thing called Toy Story Chill. Mm-hmm. It's 2 seconds long. It's just like do 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 do, and that's it. It's like, dude, is this even a whip? Like, what? How is this even chill? It's 2 seconds long.
I might know exactly what he did because he's an FL Studio user. He straight up just exported the pattern without exporting the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like one bar. Like
You play it over and over and over, and you will be chilled, dude. I promise.
Yeah.
yeah, you have to loop it yourself to get the 3-minute song. But it's doable. It's doable. You
It
gotta
was
do
just so funny when he sent it to me. I was just like, wait, it's over? Like, wait, what?
Dude,
Those are the days, man.
Oh man.
it. Those are the days. That's funny.
man, I miss the early days of this stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Miss our remix challenges.
absolutely, yeah, those sorts of
Right.
things.
And those
I mean,
were
we would.
Yeah, we were we kind of like started that as like a segment on this pod, and then just
We did one.
We did one. We did
forgot,
exactly
yeah.
one. Yeah, maybe we can pick
I mean,
one
we
back
would-
up.
When you give people homework, it's like no one's gonna really go, oh no.
Yeah.
Start avoiding
Once again,
the podcast.
you need a ringleader to force everyone to do things. Around
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Steve, you're the ringleader.
That's the problem. Is I don't want to be, but nobody else wants to step up and do it.
Yeah.
Just
But,
imagine
you know.
your head crappily photoshopped over like a fucking shaman, like holding a staff as the leader of us all.
Perfect.
But yeah. No, I love it. I was going to ask you guys, when you say you would do these things, are they like sample battles, like that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
That's cool. Me and Dustin would do some of those ourselves back in the I mean, this isn't even that long ago, but it's scary to say 2014 was 6 years ago. I'm covering my fucking eyes when I say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was still living on my own in Maryland at the time. I had just been working at this job for a little while. And yeah, it was like Dustin and I were just chilling. We'd send samples back and forth and make cool beats out of them. I missed that. I miss there's a sense of community there because going back to like, you know, not just doing it for yourself, but like having, you know, someone to kick your ass about it. At least you have like almost it's a collaborative effort now. Now you have a team to work on stuff together with. So I don't know. I like that element of doing sample battles. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dynamo, and Jeesh did one of those like a year or two ago, but like they just made joke tracks. It's like, come on, guys, this is supposed to be first.
You hit play and all you hear is or like the fucking I'm trying to think of what the sound effect is. The clown horn. I can't fucking do it, but you know what I mean.
Oh, like
did one
like
not that long ago.
Yeah, or the
I think Jeesh just like made some trap beat and then Dusty rapped over it.
Oh,
What?
And
oh, those are fun though. I liked those.
yeah,
Sorry.
I mean it was fun. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I remember. I
It's not the
actually
same.
remember that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
wait,
it's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Dusty.
you've heard the one, but I think that started them on this kick of wanting to make raps for fun, and then I think Dusty and I started to do rap battles together. So we evolved
Oh, yeah.
our sample
I heard
battle.
some of
for the-
those.
Yeah. Oh my god, those were so fucking stupid. He called himself like Glock Doctor Megazord or something. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I know the
remember.
ones you're talking about.
Yeah. He's like fucked a raccoon, gave me rabies. From a raccoon poon came my babies.
Good
From a
lord.
raccoon poon came a babe. From a raccoon poon came a babe.
Yeah. That
love
was a
that.
sample challenge one.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
But yeah, I love Dusty's raps.
They're
Actually.
always fun.
I
was
feel
gonna
like he
say-
could be like actually like sort of like a semi-serious. Like I feel like he's actually got like a pretty good flow. I don't know.
I agree. I think, I was going to say, out of anyone in this group who I'd talk to the most, it would actually be him because we still have kept in contact on Discord. So thank God for that app. People still use that one.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing here? Freaking messenger, grr, grr. Boomer joke. No,
Dude, I agree.
but
I'm on your team.
Yeah.
but no, I'm kidding. I was just saying because it's like it's nice to still be able to talk to someone for so long, to have an internet friend that goes back that long. There's just something nice about that, and I don't know. Especially seeing people's styles evolve. I actually even want to get into that with you guys because thanks for having me on. I one way or another, I've probably been inspired by a lot of you guys because pogo music was the first thing that really got me wanting to do that type of music. Like I had never listened to something before and just went, I want to make that, you know. But that was the first thing that got me into it. And then I think a combination of that and Toonami, which obviously had the coolest beats in town.
Oh,
like
yeah.
growing up listening to any bump on Toonami. But I was gonna say, I mean, you guys, like, how does it feel like looking back at the start of everything and then now? Like, have you? I mean, I don't know. Like, do you still get nostalgic about that stuff?
Oh,
And do you-
absolutely.
It fills me
Absolutely.
with deep sadness.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is tinted with sadness, but like there is still like I still do get a weird sort of sense of joy out of looking back at how fun those times were, and yeah, given everything that happened afterward, it is tinted with a shade of sadness. But like, yeah, of course, I still have nostalgia for those times.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I was fresh out of high school, and I think Jack as well. We were
Yeah.
about the same age.
Yeah.
And we started chatting on the PogoMix forums. That's where I met Pat. That's where I met Dom. That's where I met pretty much everyone that I'm friends with now making music. And we had nothing better to do. We would play with music all day, and then we just played Team Fortress all night, and we literally hung out online like every day.
yeah.
It was great, really great times. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Team Fortress really tells you the time period it was.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Although me and Pat still throw down every now and then.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I did not move on to Overwatch.
Yeah. Neither did I.
I
My
love me some
computer can't run
Overwatch.
it.
That's a baller, dude.
Must be literally the only one in this community who plays fighting games. That's the only games I play.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can.
right.
No, I'm trash.
The Smash Bros count.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
actually,
does.
Okay.
that would count. Okay.
I'll beat you in Smash Bros.
Oh, that's right. Wait, you're a melee though, right? You're a melee player, or you still
Yeah.
play Ultimate too?
I play Ultimate too a little bit, but I'm not like I don't know what I'm doing that much comparatively.
I was gonna
But, yeah.
say, hey, we could throw down anytime. I have 2 CRTs in this house. I don't know why.
I have a lot of CRTs too, but
Hell yeah, they've
I
gone
know
up in
why.
price. By the way.
Oh, really?
They are
Ooh.
stupidly expensive now. Just letting you know.
Commodity. Okay.
Yeah.
Good-
so if anyone
good
still
thing
has
I
an
have,
old
like,
tube TV, damn. I think it's specifically because of Melee. Everyone buys those up for esports and game tournaments. Like
Yeah.
you literally need those, so it's like they don't make
Yeah.
new ones of those. So eventually, it becomes like who has that anymore? But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, we'll have to throw down an Ultimate sometime because that one actually works online.
Oh yeah, I finally have Switch Online now, so
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
I should add you.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that later.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I like Soul Calibur too, and literally Soul Calibur 2. And
Okay,
also
I was wondering.
Yeah, I was like, Soul
also,
Calibur also or Soul Calibur
Both.
2? Yes.
2/2.
Two
But,
was one of my favorites also, yeah.
And Street Fighter. Oh, I like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but
Yeah.
I'm so bad at those like quarter circle games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's
too
an
Smash
interesting...
Bros. Minded.
We should do the Smash Bros. Thing, but I was going to say that it's harder to find people that like fighting games, and this is actually a very funny tweet that I saw recently, because I'm still in this, they call it the fighting game community, the FGC. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It spans everything, you know, Smash, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, anime fighting games, everything. But one of the funniest things I saw, because there's this term that gets thrown around, like, oh, your game is dead game, you know, oh, no one plays Killer Instinct, dead game. And then someone's like, dude, we're playing fighting games. Every game is a dead game. I'm like, shit,
Yeah, really?
he is right. Because when I talk to like anybody outside of this little bubble, like it'd be like us talking about Pogo to anybody that isn't here.
Yeah.
Like, everyone gives you this weird look. I'm like, oh, I think I know what Street Fighter is, like, but no one's fucking played it. So it's just very interesting that's like, even though it's such a big, you know, because of the internet, you could find communities for anything in 5 seconds. The fighting game community is much more small than you'd even think. Like, I think more people than not I've ever talked to don't play fighting games. That's why it's like, oh, you play video games? Street Fighter? No? Oh, okay, all right.
Fortnite. Oh, okay.
Yeah. They start default dancing and I start crying. Like, oops.
Meanwhile, I'm in my corner, my Animal Crossing corner, where I've already played over 150 hours in less than a month. Yeah.
Wow.
I've played over 100. Yeah.
Wow.
Damn,
That's-
you guys.
I'm blaming COVID on that one, but like, good lord.
Yo, Nintendo had to know something. There's some insider conspiracy theory, tin hat on. Freaking Nintendo
Dude, I
knew.
feel you. I feel
Just
you.
like, oh, perfect time for a release window for the game that's a life simulator. Like, they knew. But
Yeah. It's crazy.
it's cool.
Yeah.
That new update comes out 2 days from now.
2 days from now, yeah.
It's exciting.
Oh, God. I'm way too invested.
Yeah.
I've been playing since the original.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Oh, yeah, you've done some music inspired by Animal Crossing, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, the original soundtrack is one of my biggest influences, like as far as like early exposure to sort of like chill beats. Like the soundtrack in Animal Crossing now is like pretty different, but if you've never heard the original, it's like, you know, you got like some like TR-606 drums on that soundtrack, and
Yep.
it's just
Dang.
stylistically it's more like, I mean, it was made in the 90s, so it's like, you know,
Yeah.
got that hip hop beats flavor almost to
Right.
it.
That's true.
Yeah. That's
No,
like,
no,
it's
no,
great.
no chopped almond breaks in there, or they always manage to throw that into old games. That's why I was asking.
Oh, amen breaks? Yeah. No, none of that. But it's I remember like one of the songs, I think it's like KK or DJ KK, like in the original version had like a sample in it or something, and they like took it out.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway.
But yeah, no, I mean those games have great music. I was gonna say the new one. I've been collecting all the records. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, same.
I've got KK Disco, and it is on repeat. I love
Nice,
that one.
nice.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know if they added it for this game, but there's this song called Drivin'. Get that one. You have to
man.
request it from KK. You can't buy it from the... It's like
Oh,
a secret
dang.
song.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Oh, write this down. Whoa,
said-
insider
you said-
info.
you said
You're
KK
heard it
Drive-In?
here on
I'm writing that down.
CollaboRadio.
wow, guys. You heard it here first. A little exclusive.
After the game's been out for almost a month, you've heard it here first.
Well, like, you know, in the beginning when you get like the little radio thing
Yeah.
that just plays random music, I like heard it on that. And I was like, oh shit, what is that song? It sounds amazing. And then if you like interact with it, it tells you what song's playing, and that's how you find out like what songs you want to request or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Dang.
then he gives you the sound check or the air check or whatever they call it. Or that's what they called it in the old one. But
What's it called? What's this one called again?
Driving,
Driving.
like with a apostrophe at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know if you've ever played Gran Turismo, but it's like totally like Gran Turismo, like fusion jazz vibes. It's so good.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
that sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
That song's awesome, but the soundtrack is overall pretty nice. But I'm just too biased towards the original. That's just like I just want them to do that again. But it's not really like Animal Crossing's aesthetic has kind of changed since then. So
That's true.
yeah, but anyway, I could nerd out on this.
No, you're good.
for hours.
No, I mean, I
why we're here.
actually, I don't want to take the reins here, but I always love hearing you guys talk about stuff. My favorite thing when Steve mentioned about this podcast, the first thing I thought of was like, oh, he wanted us to talk about musical influences, and I would love to hear, besides just the Pogo stuff and now hearing about the Animal Crossing stuff, like what have you guys, as far as music influences go, I guess in any which order? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah. Good question, dude. Wow. We should just let Jesse have the reins. These are good questions.
I just like knowing this stuff because it's I love all your music. So
Who wants to start out? Because we can go around the circle and we can end with Jesse since he asked the question. Do you want to start us out, Pat?
Sure, yeah, why not? Man, I don't like. I feel like people that know my music know that I play around with a lot of styles, so it's pretty vast. To narrow it down, though, definitely, Pogo, that's obvious. Sora, the Japanese producer, Takeshi Kurosawa, the Avalanches, of course, Madlib, like J Dilla, Nujabes, Tsuchi, that whole thing, the whole like Samurai Champloo beats. I'd say honestly, like, I mean, this is kind of obvious too, but like all my friends that I've made along the way, like that, probably more than anyone else in some ways, but
yeah,
and then I guess like jazz and soul, like as I don't know, like I said, it's and video game music, all of that.
damn. No, I like the answers that are more than less. Like that's insane. Like the amount of the variety of those things is immense.
I just appreciate. I mean, I was born and raised on jazz, like because my dad's a jazz musician. I grew up listening to like John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Chick Corea, and then like Latin jazz stuff too, like Ayrto and Tito Puente and stuff like that. And so I was very like much born in that kind of musical environment. And but then I guess I'm a little bit elitist, but I was never so like elitist at like where it's like this is the genre that I like only. Or I just like I remember like a big breakthrough moment was like hearing Tribe Called Quest for the first time. It's like, oh, this is not your average hip hop radio stuff.
Yeah.
Even though they had some radio hits, I never heard them. It's just like, I can get down with, and then from there, it's just been like, what can I find that I like? It doesn't matter what it is. Indie, like, avant-garde, like music concrete.
Yeah.
Like all that, like, it's just whatever. It's just music is great. And
Hell yeah.
so I can find, like, I think you got to be careful with influences because you don't want to be like a copycat, or you don't want to like, you don't want to get distracted from like what's inside you, but I don't know. I think almost paradoxically, like, it's nice to like consume a lot of music and get a lot of ideas that way too. So.
And where do you find most of your music? Like, let's say if you want to find something that came out this year or some new stuff, like where are you always browsing online?
YouTube for sure. I mean, I wouldn't say I like try to find music that's come out recently or anything. I'm just like whatever. I don't know. I get obsessed, I feel like, with certain like eras and genres. Like lately I've been trying to discover like acid house and deep house and stuff like from the 90s, like Moody Man, and I don't know that many people because I'm still like getting hip to it, but the whole like house music scene.
Yeah.
From I guess back in the day mostly, but yeah, just YouTube, and then I just make sure to like follow artists I like on the social medias, and then I'd say like another really big breakthrough moment was just like when I started to get into digging like for vinyl records, because you go to like record stores and there's just like a bunch of stuff that's never been on CD or it's not even on the internet, like, or at least it's hard to find, but it's like sitting right there in front of you, and it's just like, oh, let's check this out. Oh, let's like, there's like, you go to a record store, well, you can't right now, but yeah,
A lot of
They're not
open. Yeah.
If you know, normally when you would go, there'd be like dollar bins and stuff, and you can just get whatever looks cool and then give it a chance. You know, it's like the novelty of like having it and being like, oh, this is from this year, and this is like here it is on etched into this thing, and like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like transformed how I listen to music, and like how I've like found new appreciation, like a new respect for it, I guess. It's not just like something that's playing somewhere or just on, it's just like actually like engraved onto this thing. I don't know, that kind of like opened my mind a little bit to like different stuff, because there's so much to find on vinyl too. So, and just like being a sampler too, it's just like finding like, you don't have to, it's not like you can only sample jazz records. It's like you sample whatever the hell you want. So it like makes you appreciate music too that way. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm done now.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Really
That was good, dude. Yeah.
I guess I'll go next. Honestly, like, my taste in music is fucking all over the place, dude. Like, I'm just scrolling through like my iTunes and Spotify libraries, and I've got everything from like super down-tempo ambient stuff, and then like on the other end I've got like some pretty ferocious metal in my library too, and then like everything in between. But like, I mean, as far as like artists I like, names that come to mind: Caravan Palace, Cautious Clay, Daft Punk, Deer and Grey. Fiona Apple just recently came out with an album that I'm kind of obsessed with right now. Florence and the Machine. I'm still working on a sample-based album based off of her works. Lake Street Dive, an absolutely incredible group of musicians. I mean, all my friends, like Pat, I've got a lot of your stuff in there.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
I
forgot to mention Daft Punk. That's another huge. They're like my heroes.
Oh yeah,
those guys are awesome.
Yeah. Daft Punk, Radiohead I got a lot of Radiohead in there too. Regina Spektor, some Sarah Bareilles, some musical theater is in there too. I mean, like, it's all over the place, man.
That's awesome. I like it because it's like the only person that could make the kind of music you do is you. So you have all of these, those influences wouldn't sponge up into a person and produce the kind of music you'd make. Like, I don't know. It's really cool. You get someone that likes all these different, this weird combination of musical theater and Daft Punk, and then you have someone that makes music as a result of that, could make something brand new, something really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly wish I was making more than I am right now. But yeah,
it's tough, man.
It's just kind of tough to make it, to try to force something to happen,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we all get that sentiment.
Yeah.
Pretty hard right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been like riding the wave of writer's block up and down over like the past like half year, and I was like noticing that whenever I was like not feeling like I couldn't write something or make something or whatever, I was like feeling really unsure of myself, kind of like, oh, I feel like I should be doing something new. I feel like I should be doing something different. Like, what do I even make? I don't know if these are thoughts that you guys have, but like that kind of like stops me from doing it, or maybe I'm just exhausted because that's overwhelming. But then I notice when I'm like I'll hit these strides where I'm like, just like making a bunch of stuff. And it's just like, I think what it really comes down to is just like not second guessing yourself. Just being like, yeah, this is sick. You know, it's like, it's just trust yourself. Just trust yourself to make something good. Because like you were saying earlier, it's like you come back to like old things you started and you're like, oh, this isn't actually that bad. It's like, it didn't change, you know? It's like when I can make stuff, it's like, you know, you just have to like find a way to let it flow. And you know, like, I feel like that comes from a place of confidence.
The only difference here is, you know, when Jack and I have writer's block, we put out one song in an entire year.
Yeah.
When Pat has writer's block, he only puts out 3 albums in 1 year. So,
well, yeah, I mean, the scales might be different, but I think that I don't know.
No, I agree.
no, dude, you said exactly how I feel, and I'm sure, you know, a lot of people with creative like pressures, or, I mean, we don't have pressures, I don't think, but there's definitely these times where I'm like, oh, I feel like I should be making something. And, you know, that can get in the way of like you said, like just trusting yourself. And, you know, you kind of second guess yourself if you start thinking too much about it in the process. And
yeah, I feel like that even in and of itself, it's just like, I feel like I should be. It's just like, well, just do it if you want, you know? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Especially someone who's, I mean, if anything, like I'm like the most like I should be making music, because otherwise I don't got shit to do except play Animal Crossing.
Right.
So,
I mean, that counts as something.
It's not as quite as ideal for me, for my mental health. I feel a lot better about myself when I'm actually like putting stuff out. That's all I do basically.
I was gonna say, and I think this goes to what you were just talking about, because I think when we make the best music we do, or even oftentimes the most catchiest or memorable tracks, it always ends up being like the one track you dick around with on the weekend, and you're just like, let's just do this for fun. Like I think I'm the most productive, and I make like my most like memorable work when I just feel like it. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try, because if I force anything, it's not gonna sound good. It's definitely one of those cases of just like, it's only gonna get done if you just do it. So just do it, you know. Like I just, it's half the time I just have to force myself to just do and make something, and then when it comes naturally, like you just happen to have the right sample in front of you at the time, or the right keyboard in front of you at the time. It's just like, crap, man, that was great. And the best thing is when you can make quick and easy ways for you to make music that work for your process, that makes it easier to then make and cherish those little moments. Because
streamlining is good like that.
Yeah, it's like the less you have to think about the technical shits and more just about making it, then you get the better song.
For sure.
Steve,
I agree.
Curious about your influences.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Sorry for the side tangent.
No way. That was great. Okay. Yeah. Anyone who's listened to my music, you kind of know what I'm inspired by, because I like to sample it and I like to create stuff off of stuff that inspires me. But obviously, like, I don't know if I've told this story before, but like obviously Kraftwerk is a huge inspiration for me, as like the godfathers of what we do. But you know, when I was a kid, we didn't have like a ton of music. Like neither of my parents were that into music. But one thing we did have was on cassette a copy of Radioactivity by Kraftwerk, that my dad had recorded somewhere along the way off of a vinyl that a friend had. And, you know, like one of these just random things, you know, just kicking around the house. And that was like, that was the first time I remember. This is like one of my earliest memories actually was like, you know, 3 or 4 years old and listening to this album and like actually like feeling something from music that, you know, I still remember that, like that feeling of it like gives you an emotional, you know, you just feel something emotional from the music, which I'd never experienced before. So I still remember that to this day. And I didn't really think about Kraftwerk again until I was in like high school, and I got back into it. And I was like, oh wait, this is like the stuff, you know, I listened to this as a kid, and it was really this kind of cool thing that I feel like I've always had, like Kraftwerk in there somewhere. And that was obviously a huge inspiration for my music is, I mean, somewhat the simplicity of it, but just the fact that they were doing stuff that nobody had ever done or ever thought to do. And, you know, discovering them, of course, then I got into other electronic stuff from the same time period, late 70s, early 80s stuff. Obviously, Art of Noise is a big one for me. You can kind of get that sense from my music. You know, a lot of like eclectic sounds and stuff. But the first time I heard an Art of Noise album, I had actually started making music a little bit before I'd ever heard an Art of Noise album. Obviously, I'd heard a few singles, but I put it on. I found it digging vinyl like you do. I was like, oh, this sounds familiar. I pick up this Art of Noise album. It was Who's Afraid of, the Art of Noise. And I put it on and I was like, it was like the first time I ever heard music that was exactly what I wanted to hear. I was like, this is exactly the sort of thing I want to exist in this world. I never heard it before. And it was this record from the 80s. You know what I mean? It's like wild when that happens. And awesome. So obviously that record was a huge inspiration for me. Trying to think of some other ones. Human League, Depeche Mode, Tangerine Dream, like all the 80s stuff. And then, you know, like Paul McCartney, when he would dabble in electronic stuff. George Harrison dabbling in electronic stuff. All those just weird guys experimenting with synthesizers and and synthesized drums and all that stuff. But obviously, like as far as actually getting into music, I would say definitely Pogo inspired all of us. And I don't know what it is about his music that made us all, like Jesse said earlier, I think it was Jesse. It was like something about it makes you go like, oh, I want to make this, right? Which I had never experienced with music. Like I've always enjoyed music, but there was never an artist where I was like, oh, I want to make this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like good quality music while also seeming attainable in a weird way. Because you kind of see how he does it. He's like, here's this movie, and I break down the elements, and then I create this song out of it. So it seems attainable to someone like me who's not a musician, but just a creative person, you know? Yeah. So definitely that. And actually, Pat, for sure, was an inspiration for me. And there was this video that Pat made before I think we were even friends. You know, I just knew about you through the community. And it was like, it was called P.SUS Makes a Beat or something like that. Yeah. And it starts out with Pat's got like a record he puts on the turntable, and there's like underneath, like the subtitle says, I found this in the trash, or I found this in a garbage garbage. What was it? In a dumpster, I think it was. And
it was in the trash, yeah.
Dude,
it was in
so
a trash can at like after a flea market. The neighborhood that I grew up in, I was still living with my parents at the time, and there was like a flea market every Sunday, so we went after it was over, and there was just like a bunch of stuff thrown out because the vendors were like, well, I don't want this anymore then if no one's going to buy it. And there was like a big box of like Soul 45s. A lot of them were warped, and most of them sound terrible. I like went through and picked out ones I wanted, and I still have them.
Well, that video is sick because, you know, kind of like I was talking about with Pogo, is like seeing something attainable. Is like you see this guy just like, you know, make a song it was probably a whole day, I'm guessing, or maybe longer, but you know, it happens.
The video is filmed over the course of like 2 days. Yeah.
Right. But in the video, it happens in 10 minutes, and you're like, it goes from being this record that was in a dumpster to being like this really dope song, and you see it happen in front of you. And there's something magical about that where you're like, I'm not a musician, but I feel like I could create something like that. So little things like that where I would see Pogo stuff. I would see stuff like that Pat made. And of course, I was good friends with, I don't think any of you know him directly, but we worked with him a little bit, is Matt Tardy, who does Audio Body.
Oh, sure.
And, you know, I was good friends with him, and he was creating really cool, like Daft Punk inspired electronic music. So, you know, I had somebody in real life that I could be inspired by as well. So I think between those elements, that's when I was like, I got to actually try making music. And of course, Jack has heard my early music and it was terrible, but you know, I stuck with it, and that's the only thing that really matters.
You started from like you said you're like, I'm not a musician, but I'm gonna do the thing. And honestly, it's really fun. It was really fun to kind of watch your musical evolution unfold, because honestly, having been someone who has heard some of your earliest stuff and who is now privy to like a lot of like your most recent stuff, like you've come a very long way, and like I hope you're proud, because you've come a very long way, and you're making sweet shit, man.
Thanks, man. I think I was one of the only people that wasn't a musician before getting into this. So I did feel like I had a disadvantage. I mean, Dom wasn't really, I don't think Dom was dabbling in music really necessarily. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you guys know, but I think most of you guys had, experience playing instruments and writing stuff. And, I was just a guy who liked to edit videos for fun. That was the only experience I had anywhere near writing music, and it's kind of cool to just jump into something like that. But that's
how Dusty was.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see the same evolution with his music.
Oh, absolutely.
If you go back and watch the early stuff, and then like you see the time that they put into it, and then it's like boom, he's making really dope stuff. Like Dusty's stuff is super dope.
Oh yeah.
But one other thing I will say is, of course, inspired by video games as well. If you have heard my music again, I use a lot of 8-bit synthesizers and stuff like that, and that came from playing stuff like Jazz Jackrabbit as a kid. I don't know if you guys know this game, but the music you do. Oh man.
I do. Jazz Jackrabbit has one of the best soundtracks in any video game. From
It's unbelievable.
The Sega Genesis era, right? I think.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a game I grew up with as a kid. So, between that and Kraftwerk, I was like, this is great. Electronic music is sick. But, so definitely Jazz Jackrabbit was a huge thing for me. And, newer stuff like, I'm trying to think of some newer games, but Botanicula was one I can think of more recently.
Oh, Botanicula. Holy shit.
Yeah. And I forget who does the music on both those games, so it's not helpful. But
DVDA is Botanicula. Isn't that their name?
Dude, I don't know. We'll have to look it up because I feel bad now.
I know Floex did Machinarium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Oh, that guy.
Oh,
really
DVDA.
insanely talented. I love his music.
Okay, last inspiration I'll say, because I feel like I've gone longer than everyone else. I'm sorry.
You're all good, man.
Is Kanye West, who gets shit on a lot because he, as a individual, he's a bizarre human being, and he obviously has mental issues. But I really do think he's like one of the best producers of our time, and I take a lot of inspiration from the way he cuts samples and the way he samples. He doesn't give a shit. He'll sample anything. He'll sample Instagram videos. He'll sample ancient records, like everything in between. And, he finds a time and place for everything imaginable under the sun. And he's the only producer who can afford to really sample everything, because not that we really have to worry about this too much, but, when you're someone of his stature, you can't sample for free like we do without getting in trouble. And he's like the only one who's ballsy enough to just say, fuck it, I'll pay whatever amount of money I have to take this specific sample from this specific thing. Which is cool.
Or because he's so rich, he and I've heard stories where he doesn't actually clear it, and then he gets in trouble, and then he pays them.
Right, of course, exactly.
But no, exactly.
I think a lot of people who are into sampling and electronic music and same stuff we are, and are into hip hop and stuff like that, do shy away from stuff like Kanye because they think it's kind of mainstream, modern, whatever. But I think it's a treasure trove. And once you start digging, there's like a ton of really good albums there that I think a lot of people are missing out on just because it's it feels mainstream to people. As funny as that is.
I remember the first Kanye song I ever heard, or like at least I knew I was listening to it, was Gold Digger? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, it's probably one of his big ones.
Like, well, this sucks compared to Tribe Called Quest.
It's true. It does suck.
It was like around the same time, but I've heard some Kanye beats I really like, so respect for sure.
Yeah, I don't like that song actually, but I actually don't really like his rapping that much either. It really is the production that I keep coming back to it for.
Yeah.
Because his lyrics are not anything to write home about. He's
right.
I
don't even listen to lyrics, dude.
He's not Talib Kweli or anything like that, but it's like
poopity scoop, scoop diddy whoop.
Yeah, exactly.
Poop diddy scoop de poop.
But do you know the reason he made that song? Do you know this?
Was he making fun of other rappers? I don't know.
No, he had written this beat. At least this is the story that came out. He had written this beat, and the beat's fire, by the way. And Drake wanted it. And so to spite Drake, Kanye made this song in a matter of probably hours. He sang Scoop Diddy Whoop over the beat. so that it was nobody else could have it.
Wow. I
Or
didn't
no one
know.
else wanted it after he added that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. He's like the shit stirrer of the industry right now.
Yeah.
Because no one's got the balls to do that right now. So Drake's gonna pay me money. Okay, fine. No, poopity scoop. Scoop-dee-dee, whoop, whoop. And the entire song is the beat. He only does the poopity scoop at the very end. So he basically just plays the track and then goes poop at the end. I love it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's a trip, man.
Truly. Well, that's awesome. I love hearing from all you guys, your influences, and good God, it's like it's almost like it's great to hear how many we all have in common too. Like there's like a few I've heard from both of you guys, especially when Jack was just talking up about Daft Punk, and then immediately Pat was like, "Oh crap, I forgot to add them."
Yeah,
like literally, like
How
so
could
much.
I forget like the most important one?
Yeah, it's
You know
always
what
that case.
I'm sorry to jump on you, Jesse, but one thing I know both these guys have been inspired by, and myself, that we all forgot to mention is the avalanches, of course.
fuck.
Well, I thought Pat
Pat
mentioned the
did it? I
avalanches.
totally missed it. Okay, I didn't say the avalanches.
Oh,
I
crap. I was
also
gonna say
forgot to mention
they're-
them.
Oh,
Probably
right.
because I said it.
Yeah.
yeah.
They
Oh, dude,
are-
I totally did not hear you say it. I'm sorry.
I forgot to
but I agree.
mention Thievery Corporation. That's a really big one for me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say if I can go, I got a bit of a list here, and then I also want to let you guys know I have to start eating my food because it is getting
By all
very
means.
cold.
By all
Let's take a 10. You want to take a 10-minute and we'll come right back?
No, I don't mind. I mean, if it's, I was gonna say at this point we may as well finish the pod if it's already been an hour and a half. Right?
Yeah, I know, but I want you to eat your food. Honestly, that's the worst feeling in the world is seeing
That's
like hot
okay,
food
man.
get
No,
cold.
Trust me, if it arrived an hour ago, I would have eaten it by now.
Oh fuck, dude.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's cool. I love talking with you guys. Seriously. No, I don't know. I have a bit of an interesting, like some in common with you guys, some not so. But it always comes back to the same thing. Obviously, the first one you have to mention before anything is Pogo because that's how we basically know each other.
Yeah.
Before then, obviously, I mentioned earlier was Toonami because all the beats in Toonami, while they are made from usually, I think Toonami licensed, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they licensed Ninja Tune throughout the early 2000s, and then later they got stuff from Warp. I don't know.
Oh, really?
But that explains it because, oh my God, all of the artists like Amon Tobin, like everyone on Ninja Tune was like on the top of their game in the 2000s. And they were just making the weirdest sample-based stuff. And it made me realize how much music, like if there's like, I have a lot of different genres, but a lot of the same exact principles apply to all the music I like, which is it's stuff made current day, utilizing or influenced by stuff that's old. Because like it's a like 90s they're sampling soul records, like more modern stuff I like to listen to with lyrics, less beats. I like the band Tame Impala. I like the band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, both of which try and get that psychedelic 60s sound, 70s sound. Like there's a lot of influence in there. So I found a lot of the stuff I like in common has made today with the idea of making old sounding stuff. Going after that though, Toonami, I like Bibio. We mentioned him earlier, but like he crafts his own like totally like sonic noise. Like I cannot. It's weird. You can't put to words, but like the layered sound. Like he can make music that can be upbeat, and then like in the same album make a song that's fucking scary. Like that music, like it actually gave me chills because I'm like, holy crap! Like that sounded like a nightmare. And he's really good at crafting that stuff. There's this one record, I think he samples at the end of a track. There's just this like eerie fucking like, I'm assuming he got it off of like a religious tape or something, but it was just like, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God. And I'm just like in the, like he fucking put that at the end of his song. Like, what the shit? Like, where did that come from? And to this day, I still like that shit haunts me. I'm like all these weird little, like eerie songs you can put together, and then at the same time, it makes something so beautiful, it makes me want to cry. So, really, really awesome stuff from him. Obviously, I have to mention Nujabes because Samurai Champloo, all that, you know, basically engineered the studying lo-fi hip hop girl. He walked so she could fly. Like Nujabes was there. I don't know. Back in I was 14. 13 at the time, like that was the only artist that I could find at the time making that kind of stuff. Like if it wasn't like Tribe Called Quest instrumentals or something, or J Dilla, like there was nothing else out there. Now it is almost like oversaturated with chill beats. You go on YouTube, there's like creative or not, what's his name, chilled cow or something. Yeah, he posts live streams every 5 minutes. It's like artist named song title. I'm like, you can't even remember the names of these artists anymore. Like the only way they can be noticed is if they're in a compilation these days, which is kind of like, I don't know how to feel about that, but like back in the day, like Nujabes and Jay Dilla were like the rock stars of this scene. It was like just really good music and just chill and stuff. I think the one that no one really seems to mention, but is one of my personal favorites from that era, was Ninth Wonder. He makes some dopest tracks.
Dude. Absolutely.
He's insane, and like I didn't realize he like produced shit for Beyonce too. Like he's ghost produced and made stuff for huge artists, and I'm just like, damn, like this guy's insane. Like I was watching like somehow they still make new videos with him. I guess he's always down. They make these documentary style like beat making ones. He had one on crap, I can't remember the channel, but they call it Rhythm Roulette, and he like was given a sample. And just watching him flip a sample, like you would not even think you would flip that sample this way. Like, wow, that sounds trash. There's no way you can make that sound good. And I'm like, whoa, that was interesting. Okay. But he had another one of those that was posted like this week or something. It was like last week. And it was he was being interviewed about stuff. He had mentioned like he was working on a beat for Beyonce, and her father walked in while they were, talking about it. And her father heard the beat. He's like, this is good. And, Beyonce looks over and points to Ninth Wonder and goes, Dad, he made that. And then she goes, Dad, he made that on that. And she points to his fucking dinky laptop. And it's like, doesn't matter what you have. Like, you can make the dopest sounding beat on a little laptop. So that's something Ninth Wonder always got across to me. It's like, it doesn't matter the equipment. If you have a fire sample and a creative way to flip it, hey, if your shitty laptop can run FL or whatever the hell you use, you have the tool. So it's mostly that stuff. Other genres I like, super love trance, like the 90s trance music. We were talking about house music earlier, which I still like, that deep house, the minimal house. I think that there's like a sect of this called micro house. I really like that stuff. It's just micro.
I don't know the genres. I might have misspoke when I said deep house. It's just whatever. It sounds good to me. Like there's a sound that I know I want, but I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, there's a soundtrack for a game called Lethal League, and like every song on that soundtrack is exactly that micro house. If you guys should look it up if you like that. Like if you're looking for the pogo sounding genre that isn't pogo, there's a guy that makes the soundtrack for that game. It's really good. But anyway, like the 90s
What's the name of that again?
stuff.
I'm sorry to jump on you. What was the name of that again?
Sure.
So I can write this down.
Lethal League is the name of the game. I can't remember the guy that produced the soundtrack for Lethal League. Klaus Wien. That's his name. Anyway, anything by Klaus Wien is like insane. It's really good, and it gives me that old school pogo vibe, even though it was made recently. Anyway, like the trance stuff
reminds me of Jet Set Radio soundtrack. I just listened to like 2 seconds of it.
Exactly, yeah. It's got that vibe to it, for sure. I think it's got a variety of stuff too, so I would totally keep listening to it. There's like a huge variety on that score.
I shall.
But yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of Porter Robinson's side project, Virtual Self. It's one of my favorite things he's ever done.
Have not.
Porter Robinson, I'm assuming that's a name you guys know?
Yeah.
I already mixed his song.
Oh shit, well yeah, there you go. I didn't know that. I gotta hear that one later.
Like unofficially, but yeah.
Oh yeah. That's cool. He's recently, and I don't know how recent is, because I think it was 2 years ago now, but he decided to make it, and didn't say it was him. I think eventually people, obviously they find out, but he made a new side project totally by himself called Virtual Self, and it encapsulates that like 90s, early 2000s trance music with the Ghost in the Shell looking aesthetic to it. Like everything about it was just like, whoa, this is cool. Like this is music you'd hear on DDR in 2002, like it's fucking very specific, but the type of music when I say that, like
Yeah.
And he's making it present day, and I'm like, oh my God, please, like, and there's literally a section where he like builds it up. He gets this like crazy female vocalist on it. There's all of the production. He even like samples almond breaks. Like if you closed your eyes, you wouldn't even be able to tell it was made. Like someone told you it was made in the 90s, you'd believe them. But then like halfway through the track at the very end, he has a gabber section. I'm like, this fucker has the balls to put a gabber section as a top 40 artist. Like, I don't know. I guess you wouldn't call him a top 40 artist if it's a side project, but eventually people find it and people are like, oh my God, like he's exposing more young people to gabber now, like than I'd ever hear. If you guys don't know, gabber's that type of hardcore electronic music that's just fucking noise. It's literally like putting a kick through a distortion pedal and going gong 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 gong. I'm like, holy shit.
Okay, yeah.
They call it hard style. I don't know.
Okay.
So like that kind of stuff, I really like that trance stuff and virtual self bringing the game, and then to tie it all
You mean
together,
like the hamster dance? Is that the one I listen to?
yeah, well, basically, yeah, they'd call that like happy hardcore, but I know exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There's a happy hardcore, and then there's like the evil hardcore. I don't know, you don't say evil, but you know what I mean. It's just like
Jesse, are you familiar with Scooter?
Yeah, I love Scooter.
Yeah, that's happy hardcore, right? When you call that, yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Scooter, are you ready? He's fucking,
You know it, dude.
I bet just like something about that old like trance music like got me so hyped, so much more so than like I guess like every top 40 EDM track. And I don't know, it can't be nostalgia, right? Because like, look, I did sort of grow up with it, but when I hear them side by side, it almost felt like because all they had was that mixing board and like some shitty synth from the 90s, like they were able to make something more creative than if you had like everything in front of you at the same exact time. Like you can argue to say like, well, like you can still make something like that, but there's something so nice to say, like anyone who's sampled before on a physical like actual sampler knows that when you have less things in front of you, it actually forces you to be more creative, and you end up making something that you're like, whoa, like because I just had a sampler and one record, you know, I spent more time on it and I actually made something better than like, you know, I've got Contact and every single instrument known to man. I could download an orchestra. You're useless to me. You know, like there's this like weird sort of, you know, like entitlement you get from having every instrument in the goddamn world at your disposal on the computer. Like we've gotten so used to that. So I don't know, like is that 90s stuff? It has such a unique sound and it encapsulates an era. It makes me wish I was like a 30-something raver, you know, like in that day, like because there's no scene for it anymore. No, you cannot, unless you're in Europe or something, like or even Brazil, I don't know. But America is so done with that sound. I still love it. And then just because we were probably tight on time, I just want to say that most recently I have tried to listen to as much new music as humanly possible because I genuinely want to like hear what's being produced. And when I say new music, I don't mean like top 40. I'm like going out of my way and finding new bands and clicking through related videos. If there's one channel I could recommend more than anything, if you're into that psychedelic rock, Tame Impala, that kind of like new age of psych rock that's been going on recently, there's a YouTube channel out there called David Dean Burkhart. And he's literally just, I don't know if it's a man or just like a dude. He almost acts as just like a collective.
I don't know if it's a man or just a dude.
or a dude. I don't know if it's a man or
myself.
He's a dude or a man. I don't know if it's a group or a label is what I mean. But it's like, it's just like some guy puts out like other people's music, like kind of like how you know, Chilled Cow is for Chill Hop. He just does it for that psych rock, like random ass indie bands that you'd never hear in a million years. And because of them, I've been like finding new artists. I found this one girl, Claire O. I would love her music. It was like really great. Out of nowhere, she blew the fuck up. Now she's got a million, almost 2 million on Instagram, on Twitter. And I think her music was like first posted on that freaking thing. So like you never know. Like some of these will be like huge successes. And I want to say like it, you know, I'm not one that grades them based on view count or whatever, but I will say it has something to do with it when something as small and indie gets the attention of something that's mainstream with no help other than people word of mouth, you know? This account, David Dean Burkhart, it's just like they upload countless. Because of them, I've discovered bands like Men I Trust, Girl in Red, Boy Harsher, which they do this very interesting 80s like new wave, I think is what they call it. It's really, really crazy stuff like Depeche Mode and stuff like that, and New Order. They stuff like that I've found only because of this random ass YouTube channel. So I don't know. YouTube has almost been the way I've been finding music, just from being subscribed to some dude that just posts random shit each day.
Nice.
And yeah, I don't know. Special mention would be Bones. I don't know if you guys know Bones. He's an artist that does also rap, but he's probably the only trap rap artist that I can stomach. He does the very like modern and hard sound, and he kind of screams sometimes on the beat, but it's very much unlike anything I've ever heard. Like
I think I've heard the name. I would have guessed that you were talking about a rapper trap kind of guy before you said it. So I feel like I know the name. He's
a very weird person. He has the aesthetic of a you know, black metal, like heavy metal guy. He has long hair that covers his face. You know, you wouldn't expect him to be this rapper. You know, like white guy from the Midwest, and he has like some of the hardest tracks I've ever heard. And it's like one of the only times I'll ever turn on like a fucking like screamo rap song and just like ball out like, yeah, like it's fucking UFC
Now I'm
walkout
fucking
music.
curious.
It's really
Yeah,
it's
me
really
too.
good. And some of his tracks, they do have that kind of sampley, like crickety sound to it. He is one of these artists that like he's probably like us where he's been making beats since he was 14. He has like gotten such like a perfect sound now, but like he has this like stuff that's not on his Spotify, like shit from years ago, like, oh, you gotta listen to the underground mixtape, I'll give you the zip file. Like he started out in those days, and like to this day, like some of those old tracks like still slap. Like he has one that samples, I think it's what's the Christmas movie where the guy has to redeem himself, that fucking movie.
It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah, Wonderful Life. He has this one track that samples A Wonderful Life. And
I love that.
Yeah, no, I hope I didn't sound like I was shitting on it. I was trying to remember what it was actually called.
I think it's a New Year's movie, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it could be more than just a Christmas film too. But,
It's Christmas, I'm pretty sure. It takes place.
I think it's one of those classically misinterpreted movies where it's
Well,
not
they
actually
sing
a Christmas movie.
Auld Lang Syne at the end.
Yeah, that's a New
But-
Year's song.
It's a New Year's song, but I always thought it was still supposed to be Christmas.
Yeah, maybe you're
Unless
right.
he's just saying Merry Christmas. Like,
In any-
because
in any
it was
case,
Christmas recently.
I don't know, man. I don't know either. I'm just
he has a track that samples a bit from it at the beginning, and it like really sets the tone for it. And I don't know, he's one of those artists that like generally doesn't use samples, but when he does, it's fantastic. He's fascinating. Like all of his tracks of it. The fact that he still self-releases in 2020, like I think he has his he calls it a record label, but it's mostly just a digital collective. He calls it Team Sesh. They have a collective of rappers on there, but like beat makers and stuff. I think there's actually a few down-tempo ambient track makers that don't have rap or even drum tracks on their beats. There's this one guy I really like from there, but I could go on forever. He's literally the last person I'll mention because I apparently had listened to him so much that Spotify put me in the top 2 percentile of people that listen to him. So I was like, shit, okay, I am really listening to this. And apparently they were like, because you like him, you might like emo rap. I'm like, is that what you call his music? It's more than that. I hate when you fucking pigeonhole that shit. I tried to listen to some other stuff. This is garbage. I really like this one artist. He's fantastic. So I don't know if I could send you guys some tracks because like you know,
link this up,
definitely the black sheep of the group of types of music we've listened to because I don't think anyone here would ever listen or mention like that kind of trap rap. But it's really really different stuff. I liked it.
I'm real curious about it.
Trap rapper, are you just a trapper?
I guess so. Like, trapper. There should be a name for it because honestly, like for us, like we're going by genres. Anyone who you ask on the street, oh, what kind of music does Future make? It's rap. It's just rap.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all blended together. But you know, we always specify or something like, oh, chill beats. You know, 90s boom bap. That's what I've heard a lot. Boom bap is considered the 90s track. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's interesting.
Then I got to also mention, obviously, because like I forgot to gloss over it in the pogo stuff. But some of the most creative shit I've heard came from you guys. Like came from the people that first heard pogo and then was like, I want to do that too. But then eventually, you guys do your own thing. Everyone eventually finds their own voice. And I got to say, like, even some of the tracks y'all are making now blow pogo stuff out of the water. Right?
Thanks, man.
I hate to draw comparison. I'm trying to throw him under the bus too much, but that was like one of the things I love seeing is the evolution of an artist. That someone would start as something as a quote unquote pogo tributer and then turn themselves into their own thing that you don't even associate. You don't even think about that artist anymore because they just grown their own wings. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I kept telling people to do that. I was like,
man.
Yeah, dude.
She's like, hey, Jeesh, why don't you find your own sound? Come on, man.
Yeah, Pat was the original get off the bandwagoner.
And I found Pat through pogo. I got even like Pat wasn't the one. He wasn't a pogo tribute guy, but I remember finding it because Nick shared some old album of yours, and I want to say it was probably the one on like a snowy picture of a train or something. I can't remember.
True tracks. Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great album.
I remembered hearing that stuff for the first time. Really. If it wasn't for this one artist, I wouldn't have known all you guys. And honestly, like you guys make some of the dopest crap I can ever hear. And I'm excited, honestly, to be a part of this Chill Beats album. It's really cool.
Nice, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Like, we always try to bring in at least one new person.
Trying to make friends.
Yeah, we are trying to make friends, exactly. And you've been on my radar for a while.
Yeah.
To bring in.
Dang,
I was
man, well,
listening to
appreciate
your track Excuses. It reminds me of that indie rock or like indie whatever stuff you were talking about. That was sick, dude.
Thank you, man. That's such a good that is like exactly the kind of thing I was aiming for. To hear that from you is such high praise. I appreciate that.
It's almost like dream pop. Is that kind of a
dream
genre?
pop? I was trying to, because I wanted to get that analog sound without I didn't use a single bit of analog equipment on that track. That was entirely plugins, and I was like working so hard to try and be like, okay, but like this plugin sounds too digital. I trashed it. This plugin is perfect. I wanted to make sure everything. So it is a careful like chemical reaction of like me pouring different, whatever the fuck works, what doesn't, to get that sound. And
It totally shows. You could have fooled me. Definitely. Nice work on that.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Seriously. To go from being influenced by the hip hop, like New Jabez type stuff, to now being influenced by that, I mentioned David Dean Burkhart, but the stuff that's uploaded on his channel with that indie stuff, I wanted to make sure that the stuff I want to make reflects the stuff that I like to hear. So as that evolves, I'm hoping my sound will too. And the biggest risk involved is, oh no, what if I can't do that? And that was my first leap. And to hear it from you I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely really cool. I like you're singing on it too, right?
That is me singing. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Nice. I respect to that because I don't. I mean, I do the vocoder stuff sometimes, but that's about as far as I go, I think. Dude,
no, trust me. As everyone knows, like being the producer, beat maker, singing is like it's like another language. You're used to doing everything as like, no vocals needed, but the moment you have to, it's scary. And I even want to say, like, this is a common trait I've noticed in bigger names as well, because Grimes, she is a self-made woman. She makes all of her beats and sings on them. But sadly enough, and I love Grimes, but I hate to say, a lot of her live shows, not so great, because the singing in the record is likely the best possible take at the best possible time. And when she, sings live, it's obvious that there's a bit of work that needs to be done. And it's a different skill set entirely. And I don't I'm not using that as a platform to try and shit on her. I love her freaking music, but I almost want to say I relate, because if I were to ever play a live set of my song, I'm like, oh my God, you guys, the track that you heard on my Bandcamp, that was me after trying like 700 times. If I were to nail it all in one go in front of an audience, holy crap. Like it is another skill set. Going back to Bibio, that's another thing. He says it's another thing. He doesn't like doing live shows. It's a different beast of being a live artist and a recording artist. So, I don't know, just to hear that, like I'm glad you didn't think the singing was absolute shit. And
no, it fit in. It fit with the vibe really well. I mean, I couldn't it sounded good. I don't listen to like lyrics, so I don't know the lyrics, but
I'm glad to hear that.
I mean, I don't know if I could hear him under all that reverb. No,
that was honestly the point, was half of those aren't actually words.
You gotta drown it.
Yeah. You gotta drown it.
That's the only way.
This aesthetic is that it's dreamy and you don't know what I'm saying. And there are a few sentences in there, but at the very beginning, it honestly starts like I fucking go and like scat it. Like I just go, I start the beat and I like the chord progression, and then I start going, man, you friend, anyway, and whatever the fuck. And then weirdly enough, if I like the way that sounded, I'm going to keep it, even if no one knows what I said. I don't know what I said. So,
well, this is inspiring me to take another crack at some kind of vocal type thing.
Dude, totally. I'd love to hear it. Honestly, it's especially because we know how to mask things as engineers. Like we know how to fucking add the right amount of reverb where it's like, okay, I'm not totally embarrassing myself right now. Like they can't hear it. It's like like hiding it under layers. But if you find a way to do that and then also like make that a creative choice, then it could also work. Like you don't have to just make it the raw vocals, oh I can't sing. Find what notes you can hit and what parts that do sound good, and if you don't, whatever, I mean, throw the vocoder if you have to, but it depends on the track. It all depends whatever services the song.
Word.
But guys,
I like the vocoder.
I do too. I was gonna say it is sick. Some of those tracks with your vocoder just definitely remind me of Daft Punk, which is why I was surprised you didn't mention them the first time.
Yeah. Well, my biggest vocoder inspiration is Herbie Hancock.
Oh hell yeah! I was gonna say, crap.
Yeah, check out that Herbie Hancock "Sunlight" is the name of the album.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
like
have to
the
look
best
that up.
vocoder record ever.
Damn. Yeah, I'll have to look him up. He
Although I don't know
definitely
that
doesn't.
many.
Oh, well, we could opinionated best record, best vocoder
Right.
record, but I'll take your word on it. You
It's
guys
hard to top that, even if I knew like 100, to be honest.
Yeah, you guys, thank you for having me on this.
Yeah,
this is really
thank you so
awesome.
much for joining us.
Totally.
Yeah, we should do this more often.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we can keep talking, but we should probably wrap up the pod so you can fucking eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have mentioned.
Yeah. I guess now's the time where if we have things we want to plug, this is the time to bring it up. Obviously, Aperture coming out, I believe May 1st is the date we decided on.
May 1st.
It is.
Yes.
It is coming. Be ready for it. It will be
Yep.
there.
It will be.
Yeah. Bring your headphones. Bring your snacks.
Yep.
Yeah. Bring a nice, comfortable chair.
Yeah.
Bring your friends.
Because
No,
you're
don't
not
bring
going to
Should they-
unless your friends are
not-
living with you right now. Don't bring your friends.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Bring them digitally.
Stay at home. Hashtag. hey, perfect.
Yeah.
Stay at home and listen
Yeah,
to
Exactly.
Aperture.
yeah.
Yeah. That's our official stand on this. Please stay at home.
Yeah,
Please.
seriously.
The Collaborate is telling you, please don't go protest in the streets.
For fuck's
that's
sake,
silly.
please.
Please.
It's ironic. One of the
Please.
first things I remember you guys were talking about before this podcast, like, oh, what do we talk about? It's like, well, we could talk about the quarantine. That was the very last thing we actually say before it ends.
Well, I think that's
Jesus.
good because I feel like everyone's talking about it, and
Yeah,
people
that's
want
true.
everyone
Yeah.
to hear about. Like literally,
Yeah,
everyone's
really
just
that.
talking
Yeah.
about 24/7.
Yeah, it's you walk the fine line between being like fear mongering too, because it's like you don't want to be like, oh man, it's so scary, and you hear people talk about how scary it is. It gets in their head, and
Right.
I'd rather spread the good vibes, talk about good music, because that
Yeah, exactly.
shit's eternal. This shit's gonna blow by, but music stays forever.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's the only thing we can control right now is
Right.
that you listen to good music. So
that's right. We control your music tastes, please.
yeah, please
So
obey
listen.
us.
To Aperture.
Do as
Aperture-
P.SUS says.
It's grown on me already because you just said Aperture, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, you
That's
own
cool,
that
man.
word, man. That's your album right there.
Nice.
right.
Did anyone want to plug anything? Because I'll wrap up if anyone wants to plug anything.
I'll throw it in there because it was already mentioned and Pat mentioned earlier. I have a new song named Excuses on my Bandcamp.
Nice.
That is just jetsee.bandcamp.com. jetsee.bandcamp.com. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really cool talking to you some more, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
absolutely. Anytime. I love all you guys. Seriously. These are like the most positive conversations in the world because weirdly enough, like when Pat was saying earlier, being a loner listening to music, you often don't think there's other people out there doing the exact same thing or listening to the exact same stuff. And then when you have you guys, like we all listen to that stuff and it is a community. You're not alone, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know, I appreciate being able to talk to you guys about this because, and I take it right now, like almost none of my friends have my music taste at all. None of them.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to
big
hear
shout out to you, man, because
Yeah.
you kind of made me feel at home in the old Discord community.
Yeah.
You and Bev and Nevin, and it was nice to make like kind of like this new group of friends.
Totally, man.
So huge shout out to you guys for including me all the time and
of course,
inviting
dude.
me to the chats. And you guys were all like, "Oh, it's ThinkFishTank. We like your music." And it's one of those
Yeah.
moments where you're like, "Oh, people actually care." It was great. It was great.
Totally.
So
Well, hey.
you guys are very, very kind, and I'm happy to pay it back in any way I can.
Well, dude, bro, thank you for paying it back by bringing me here because this podcast is dope. And thank you for this whole thing has been really cool. And yeah, I really can't wait for this to share the next track for this album because I don't know which one's gonna make it to Aperture, but you'll be hearing a brand new Jetsee song.
Ooh,
Whoa.
dope.
Alright.
Ooh, love it.
You're gonna sample jet sounds.
Yeah, I hope so.
and then in the sea, I'll sample some oceans.
Ooh.
There you go.
Honestly, like a plane crashing into the sea would be a really good sound.
Oh man!
Don't
See,
forget
you're
to put a
giving me
limiter
ideas.
in there.
Yeah, right. 10 sound goodizers on the master fader.
Dude,
Just don't make it a field recording. Don't actually be on the jet.
Yeah.
No. Hashtag stay at home. Hashtag stay at home.
Yeah. Hashtag sound goodizer.
Pat, you got any plugs?
Not really. I don't know. P.SUSmusic.com.
You just put out a new single, man. Plug that.
Yeah, well, I did. I made like almost a 6-minute long song, and I was like, well, I might as well just throw it up on Bandcamp, because I never really do that. I usually just save stuff for albums and then put albums on Bandcamp. But I have a song on there for $1 that you can download if you like it. It's like a 6-minute long house track. So
yeah, it's really dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you get the ThinkFishTank stamp of approval.
I'll put that in the Bandcamp description.
Perfect.
But yeah, no, I did some streaming. Just follow me on, I guess Instagram or Twitter is probably the best. I don't know. Yeah. Facebook's dead, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Good Instagram content from P.SUS. So yeah, definitely go check it out.
Yeah, but P.SUSmusic.com is.
Oh, sorry. Go there instead.
Yeah,
Don't
well, it's got links to everything, so it's just go there if you can't remember anything.
Perfect.
What is this Twitter you speak of?
All right, Jack, what do you got? Got any plugs for us?
I mean, I'm working on that live set, so I guess stay tuned for when I figure out what I'm doing with that. But otherwise, you can find a lot of my stuff at soundcloud.com/Jawka or youtube.com/JawkaJabberwock. And yeah, other than that, like, I'm afraid I have no albums or singles to plug at this time, but still working at it.
Soon. That can-do attitude that I bring to collaborate, I'm going to do that to Jack next. I'm going to force him to make an album.
Be his manager. Be his producer.
I should. I should honestly have a job doing that. Seriously. Everyone needs motivation. Maybe I could find a way of making money.
Yeah. There's people in the field I work in that literally that is their job, so you can do that.
It's sick. All right, well, I will wrap it up, guys. Of course, Aperture coming out May 1st, 2020. Okay, do not miss this. It's going to be amazing. This is our third big mixtape. We've done some other littler stuff, but and this one's going to be the best. I promise. It's going to be really dope. But the thing I teased earlier,
I got a good feeling about it.
Yes, dude. Same here. I think you just bring in the best talent you can, and it's going to be good. And we have like literally everyone that I like to make music with, everyone that I enjoy listening to their music. And actually, we didn't announce an official list, so I'll do that right now because we have the official, all the artists are official now. Yeah, the cast, exactly. So I'll run through here because we got some big names. You guys are going to like this. We're going in alphabetical order.
Kanye West. Daft Punk.
We got Kanye. In alphabetical order. Our boy Belinsky. You guys know him. You guys love him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
he's back. We got Blame Illuminati. He was a big surprise hit on the last album. Got a lot of good feedback about his track. We got him back. EMP, obviously known for making dope hip-hop beats already. We got him on the album. We got Jawka. Okay, we got him. Guys, it was hard, but we got him.
However, we forced him
to do this. A recent get, we've got our boy Jeesh. You know him from YouTube. We got Jeesh, which should be sick because Jeesh always brings the heat. We've got our boy Jetsee. Hey. You guys, you've heard his voice. You've heard his opinions on staying indoors. They've
remained the same before and after coronavirus.
Good. So he'll be on. We're super excited to have Jesse. Jesse, is this our first official time working together?
I believe so. Dude,
that is sick. I'm excited. Next we got Jindo. You guys, formerly Joro Mix.
Oh shit! Yeah,
and he's the man. He's really good producer.
He's one of the quickest learning people I've ever like. I remember meeting him going, "Hey, dude. Making beats," and then like months go by. I'm like, "Crap! How did you get so good?" I am like reevaluating my life.
Oh, it's disgusting, honestly. Because I would definitely heard some of his early stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, this guy has potential." And then next thing I know, he's like, a million times better than me at production. I'm like, what happened? But that's sick. I'm really excited to hear his stuff. We've got our boy P.SUS. You might know him from his Pogo tribute in 2011.
Probably too many people know me for that.
You might know him
More
from
people
True
than I'd
Tracks.
like.
Yeah. Dude, it still holds up. I listened to it a couple months ago. It still holds up.
I don't even know what song you're talking about.
Oh, dude, it
Pee-wee's
sampled Big Adventure. Yeah.
I was gonna say because the Jetsons one was dope.
Yeah. We've got Riverman. Do not forget about Riverman. He is the heart of Collaborate. I'm just trying to say something nice about everyone. There you go. We got him. We got him. Actually, shout out to Dom Riverman, who has made an absurd amount of tracks for this thing, and they're not all going to make it on, so you'll hear him down the line and other stuff. But yeah, he has been producing his ass off. For this.
I also want to say that I think that there's going to be a collab track between me and him on there too.
What?
Yeah.
Dude.
If he finishes it, I don't know.
Guys, you are hearing this. This is another exclusive for you guys. We got a P.SUS Riverman collab. We call that a Piverman.
Oh god.
No, I couldn't think of a better one. Okay.
River-sus.
River Sus. We've got Sapien Alien. Anyone have anything nice to say about Sapien Alien? I'm just kidding because he's listening right now. Obviously,
Yeah,
one of my favorite people to work
nice.
with. Honestly, one of my favorite people to work with, and he's dope. All right.
Beautiful
And
stuff. Amazing.
last but not least, guys, we like to save one of the best for last, of course. Pulling up the rear, we have ThinkFishTank, who's obviously a newcomer to Collaborate.
What a jerk! I don't like that one.
I've heard he's okay. That's what I'm hearing through the grapevine. Is, he phones it in most of the time, but every once in a while he'll, make something half decent. So there you go.
Go back to the pet store.
Yeah, exactly. That's the official list, guys. That is 11 of, dare I say, the best people making Plunderphonics music on the internet today. Dare I say
On
it?
May 1st, 2020.
Exactly. So there you go. You have that to look forward to. But the other thing that I was teasing that I didn't break this exclusive yet is we're gonna be doing a release party. We're gonna be doing a mixtape release party, and we have not decided if that'll be like the night before the release, like if it's a midnight release, or if it'll be the night of the release. Either way, we're gonna do a party. We're gonna have some live streams. I'm gonna be doing a live stream of all Collaborate music, of all Collaborate artists. I mean, so it'll be really cool. And Pat will be doing a stream.
Yeah, I'll do a set.
He's gonna do a set. Yeah. This is your first set in a little while, right? So this is kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I haven't. Well, I mean, it might even be. Okay, I did the gallery live stream set, like the gallery release party live stream.
Yep.
That's one of my EPs, if you don't know. And then I did like a random gig in Florida that no one came to. So that was cool. But
so there you go.
That was like a year ago. So
Cool.
So yeah, the return of P.SUS doing a live set, and I think we will have some other surprise stuff in there too. But we'll do at least a couple hours of music and cool shit. So we'll let you guys know for sure when that's going to be, and that I'm guessing we'll do that on the Familiar Sounds /Collaborate YouTube page, whatever that we're calling that now. But we'll put links in this video. We'll put links everywhere so you guys can come hang out, ask questions, and just like chill, have a good time, and enjoy the new tunes.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for me. You guys know where to find me. ThinkFishTank. Just punch it into your
nobody
computer.
else has that artist name, so just Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally nothing comes up if you type it. So I think the only thing that would come up is a literal fish tank. So if you're not looking for that, you'll find me. I've got some new stuff on YouTube, actually. I'll plug that. I've got new videos on YouTube, which doesn't happen very often. So please go watch those. 'Cause
Perfume
I
on.
need views. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Yes, exactly. Thank you guys so much. I need to be released from my fish tank. And I really appreciate everyone who stops by and listens. And, put your nice comments below so we know we're not just doing this for our own pleasure. It's always nice
like
to see.
real talk for a second. Like, nothing means more to me than people saying like nice or like that was dope. It's literally like if people just like stuff and just, you know, go on their way. I mean, that's fine. We're all busy or whatever. You don't have to say anything, but just know, like, getting feedback. Otherwise, it's just me sitting in my room like, I think this sounds good. If people are like, yo, that's sick. That's literally like currency to me. So I appreciate that. I just wanted to say
I'm
that.
going to second that hardcore. Like it is the most personal thing out there you can do when you're a musician, to be able to put your stuff out there and even hope someone's going to hit the play button. But the fact that you'd get someone even saying and messaging you out of your way to say, hey, that was a really good song. It helped me through my day, or I really liked that. That like, I live for that shit. There's nothing better in life than hearing that.
Or you can tell me how terrible it is. I don't know. It's
you can do that
to
too
hear
if you
from
want.
people.
Yeah.
Either way. So you guys heard it here first. Go comment on our stuff. We love it. And comment below in this video and tell us your favorite. I don't know.
Tell us your favorite
why did you
P.SUS moment.
There you go. There you go.
You open the
got it.
gates, man.
Perfect.
You open the gates.
Oh God. I mean, within this podcast, not overall, because that would just that's just too much.
Oof.
Yeah. If anyone has the time to go through every podcast and clip out all the moments, please do right now.
Oh God. I'm so glad I don't have like a huge following. Someone would totally do that.
Oh yeah. The moment you finish the recording, it's already been made.
Yeah.
Well,
that about wraps it up. You guys are great. And let's cue the outro music.
Oh, yeah. Thanks again, guys.